Uh, Good afternoon, Mr. Jyoti Prakash and participants. This is our third session of this day of faculty development program on CFD. This session is handled by Mr. A. Jyoti Prakash, who is scientist B in Central Water and Power Research Station, Pune. He graduated in mechanical engineering from Acharya Nagarjuna University, Guntur, and did his PG in energy engineering from College of Engineering, Gindi. He is with Central Water and Power Research Station, Pune since 2016. After working in National Institute of Ocean Technology, Chennai, from 2011 to 2016. His field of specialization is numerical and physical model studies of pump intakes and water hammer studies for lift irrigation schemes. He has also experience in field studies for hydro power plants, performance testing of pumps, calibration of flow meters, filters, and valves. He has more than 10 papers in various national and international journals and conferences. Sir, please take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Yeah. Good afternoon, all. I think since CWPRS is doing service for the past 100 years to research, so just I wanted to introduce our organization activities by just showing a video. Just for 10-minute video.
Hydraulic Machinery Division. The Hydraulic Machinery and Cavitation Division of CWPRS, established under UNDP during the year 1984, is catering to the services of testing pumps, turbines, and calibration of flow meters. The gravimetric and volumetric laboratories undertake calibration of flow meters and testing of filters and other flow elements. Extensive experimental and research studies related to hydraulic machines and flow measurement in specialized areas undertaken in this division are field investigations for flow measurement by secondary calibration method, field studies to assess hydroturbine performance for hydro power plants, surge analysis of lift irrigation schemes, model studies for evaluation of hydraulic performance of pump intakes, desk studies for development of hydraulic designs of pumping systems, calibration laboratory services. Calibration of flow meters and water meters is essential for custody transfer of water, interstate sharing of water, and flow through hydro turbines in hydro power sector, drinking water distribution systems, etc. Filters and strainers are used to filter out the suspended particles in water, to supply clean water for drinking water supply schemes and applications like steam generation in thermal power plants, and are required to be tested for the pressure drop, which defines their effectiveness. Valves usually used to control the flow rate in any flow process system are required to be tested to ascertain their head loss, discharge characteristics, gravimetric and volumetric calibration facilities conforming to ISO 4185-1993, ISO 8316-1993 are available at CWP. Volumetric calibration facility. Maximum line size 250 mm, integrated with submersible pump test rig. Maximum flow rate 0.083 cubic meters per second. Calibration uncertainty plus minus 0.5%. Capacity of volumetric tank 3.862 cubic meters. Gravimetric calibration facility. Maximum line size 1000 mm, extendable up to 1200 mm. Maximum flow rate 2.0 cubic meters per second. Calibration uncertainty plus minus 0.3%. Weighing tank capacity 100 tons. This facility is so far the largest in the country. Pressure drop test and design optimization of heavy-duty water filters of thermal power projects of NTPC, BHEL, L&T helped boost infrastructural capabilities of the nation for energy generation needs. Testing of filters and calibration of flow meters performed for clientele like Gujarat Autofilt, Autoclin, Jaish Engineering Company, ONGC, MIDC, Kirloskar Brothers Limited, and SVE Filtration Engineers, Shivalik Engineering, Nevo Controls, Manas Microsystems, Aquamias Instruments, performance testing of submersible pumps. Effective utilization of groundwater is possible with performance evaluation of the submersible pumps. This hydraulic machine is one of the important disciplines which is concerned with studies of rotodynamic pumps and pumping systems. Submersible pump sets are tested as per testing procedure described in IS 9283-2013, 8034-2002, and also 9137-1998. During the last 40 years, CWPRS has provided practical solutions to various projects in the field of rotodynamic pumps. The state governments of Rajasthan, Bihar, Karnataka, etc. had benefited from hydraulic performance and overload tests on submersible pump sets of different flow and head capacity. In recent times, pump sets of various capacities for irrigation department of Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow, were extensively studied. It is a standard practice to get a sample pump set tested during bulk purchase for bore wells. Field investigations for flow measurement. The measurement of flow rate is very significant for effective utilization of available water resources. Is best suited for custody transfer or process control applications. Many industries are looking forward to streamline the water consumption pattern through water auditing in view of scarcity of water resources. Site calibrations of flow metering systems are performed by secondary calibration methods in order to suggest technical guidance for proper flow measuring installations at site and to improve the existing water drawl system for better usage of water. Hence, many agencies like Tata Power, NDPS Nashik, Usha Martin, Hindalco are some of the beneficiaries of this exercise. Field studies for assessing hydroturbine efficiency for hydropower plants. Performance evaluation of hydraulic turbines undertaken through field studies comprise of measurements of flow for different reservoir level, net head on turbine, and power input. Evaluation of overall efficiency of a turbine plant is an important factor during normal operation of an existing plant or renovation, modernization, and upgradation works. Turbine efficiency plays a vital role during test of a new turbine unit. Surge analysis. Water hammer occurs whenever the fluid velocity in pipe systems suddenly changes, such as at pump stop, pump startup, or valve opening and closure. It is important to design pumping systems to prevent water hammer in order to avoid potentially devastating consequences, such as damage to components and equipment and risks to personnel. CWPRS has a special purpose software, WH2.7, developed by Dr. Hanif Chaudhary, to offer solution based on method of characteristics. Based on transient studies, anti-surge devices such as air chamber, air valve, zero velocity valve, etc. are recommended to mitigate water hammer for safe operation in the long run. Many NTPC projects, state government agencies, and other public health engineering departments are beneficiaries of this work. Hydraulic model studies for pump intake systems. Most of the cooling water intakes in thermal power stations, drinking water systems, irrigation schemes, etc. involve multiple intakes fitted to a sump that caters services. In order to satisfactory performance of pump intake systems, physical model studies are conducted. A number of studies of pump sump design have been undertaken at CWPRS. These include Bhopal City Drinking Water Supply Scheme, Natpa Chakri, Tarapur and Madras Atomic Power Station, and to various super thermal projects like Kota, Parali, Singrauli, Tuticorin, Talcher, Umchahar, Farakka, Ramagundam, Kathalguri, and Tripoli West Thermal Power Station, Libya, Port Klang Thermal Power Station, Malaysia, Kuttieri Power Intake Studies to evolve vortex swirl-free flow conditions, safe and economical designs of pump intakes. The model study for Love Grove Sewage Pumping Station at Warali, Mumbai was a special study considering the limited space at the site. Vertical expansion of the sewage filtering was recommended that suited a city like Mumbai. Test studies for economic pump sump pipeline optimization were also carried out for Damodar Valley Corporation, NEEPCO, Gomti River Drinking Water Supply Scheme, and Bonal Lift Irrigation Scheme for KBJNL, Narayanpur in Karnataka state. Under HMC division, CWPRS has been conducting various training courses and national workshops related to flow measurement, pipeline optimization, transient analysis, pumping systems, and operation of turbine plants. Services at HMC division. Calibration and testing services. calibration of closed conduit flow meters and water meters, assessment of pressure drop across heavy-duty water filters, assessment of flow coefficient of hydraulic valves, hydraulic performance testing of submersible pumps, field studies, performance evaluation of hydroelectric power plants, upgrading of existing hydropower plants, site performance of flow meters and proper layout for water pumping system, standard installation of appropriate flow measuring devices, pumping system optimization, surge analysis of lift irrigation schemes, pump sump model studies for improvement.
Yeah, Sharad sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can start now.
I hope you got some idea about CWPRS through this video.
Of course.
Now, I'm going to present about the actual today's topic of uh, application of CFD for hydraulic turbines and pump intakes. Generally,
Sir, please share your PPTs.
okay. I already shared. Now can you see me? Okay. Yeah, can you see now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. In CWPRS, under HMS region, we have done various CFD studies for pump intakes and hydraulic turbines. With myself and with my colleague Mr. Ajay and our whole team is involved in this. Generally, what is CFD? CFD is just a simulation of fluid engineering systems using modeling, like mathematical, physical formulation of the problem, and the numerical methods such as by using discretion methods and various solvers and numerical parameters, and by using grid generations. All these techniques comes in numerical methods. And generally, previous to CFD, there is only experimental fluid dynamics and analytical fluid dynamics. So by improving the digital computers and all, then later on this CFD has made possible. And earlier there is if you see in 1947, it is around only 500 flops is there, the computer digital computer capacity. Then in 2003, it is around 220 teraflops, and by 2009, in this era, if you see that is 1.5 petaflops is there. Like that improvement of computers has been increased, and now various HPs and has come. Now this the CFD is now it is a trend now to carry out the complex fluid flow systems also. And generally, why we use CFD? Generally, CFD used for in analysis and designing of the system. If you see that there is a physical model, in that I have to do some modification, then again I have to do demolition, then I have to remodel it. Like that, in number of combinations I have to do it. That it includes more cost. Further, what we have to do is, right now what we are doing is, initially we will conduct one physical model, then we use CFD for validating purpose. After some modification and all, we will do final the final version of the CFD version, which is accepted one, and the final only one modification will be implemented in the physical model. Like this, it is saving time as well as the cost also. And like for example, in other cases like where there is physical model systems is not possible to model, in that like there is a full scale models like in case of ships and aeroplanes, and in case of wind and weather farms, there is explosions has to be modeled. All these things can be done by using CFD code. And then where is the CFD used? And let us say there is, as I said now, aerospace applications and automotive applications and biomedical applications, and if you see in chemical processing applications and HVAC, like there is a cooling and heating ventilation airflow model can be done by using CFD. And the hydraulics, that means that today's topic, like pump intakes and hydraulic turbines, and CFD can also use it for model of dams and spillways problems. And where marine problems, like I said, like the ship modeling. And in case of oil and gas, there is a drilling is happening. That there is a flow of mud inside the drill bit, that also has been done by using the CFD analysis. In case of power generation, here you see that the flow of air in the inside the cooling tower. So these things can be modeled by using the CFD code. This is basically the application of CFD. Then what are different types of CFD codes are available? Generally, there is commercial as well as public domain softwares are there. And if you see that in commercial software, like Star System, Fluent, Flow3D comes under, and public domain like OpenFOAM, and various grid generation softwares like Hypermesh and Gambit softwares are there. For flow visualization, ParaView and FlowView softwares are available. And what is CFD process? CFD process, it is only simulation of events. Like if you see that there is a CFD code is there. The purpose of CFD code will be different for different applications, such as depends on the specific purpose and the flow condition of the problem. With marines, so we have to see that which CFD code is useful for our application. Once the CFD code is has been chosen, then the following steps has to be taken place. You have to carry out by using the particular software, like mesh, and then solve the problem, and after that you post processing of that problem as per our required output. And if you see in the first case, the geometry. While creating geometry, you need to take care of, like you have to set the appropriate coordinates, like whether it is a Cartesian coordinate or it is a cylindrical coordinate or it is a spherical coordinates. So then after that, you have to determine the domain size according to our model problem. You have to say domain has to be determined, and then you have to see that is there any simplifications are needed in the model. If you see there is a 10 meter like dimensions are there. In that there is some 1 mm, there is a feature is there, 1 mm hole is there. In that case, you have to see if you want to model that one, it needs it's a very minute, very small cells has to be created. For that, it means high computation power is required, and it is time taking process also. But you have to judge that whether that feature has to be modeled or not. If it is not important, it is not our study, then we have to simplify that model by excluding that steps suited for our model. So you have to after you have to create geometry based on these conditions. In physics, there are different. There are 4 types of conditions. Are there only like there is a flow condition you have to see. In the flow condition, like whether it is in viscous fluid or it is viscous fluid, or it is a lamp. Select from these what type of flow condition that is required for our model, and various fluid properties like its density, viscosity, all those things is required. And then the most important thing is you have to select the models, like what model, like different models usually by fixed by the codes. Then options, we have to only choose the options from the codes. And then initial and boundary conditions. So this will not be, we have to, it is users, you have to judge that what is the initial conditions to be given that best suited for the, as per that, it is like an best assumption for the output result. That is called initial conditions. And if you see that, as I said that flow conditions, like the various conditions like viscous or viscous, whether external flow, internal flow, whether turbulent or laminar, and whether it is incompressible or compressible flow, whether it is single phase flow or multi-phase flow, all, and whether it is any density effects has to be taken care, and free surface flow or surface tension flow. And as per for complementing model, this free surface flow is important for us. And in case of turbulence and free surface flow models, if you see the turbulence models like various direct numerical simulation models and RANS model, Reynolds average and average Stokes equation, and large simulation model, and detached simulation model. So these various turbulence model available, mostly will be using the RANS model only for this type of problems. And for free surface models, then it is a, whether surface tracking method is required or it is a singular two-phase level set method is required. So these things we have to take in care while creating, while analyzing using the CFD methods. And these are initial conditions. Generally, initial condition, what, when you use the initial conditions, so it should not affect any final results. It should only affect the convergence path, what path it is taking for convergence. So it is like for steady flows, it is only number of iterations matters a lot, and for unsteady conditions, so if there is only time steps you have to control. So I said that more reasonable guess that it can speed up the convergence. So that is our role in this given during initial conditions. For complicated unsteady flows, general CFD codes are usually run in steady state mode, just for a few iterations. Then you have to observe that, you have to take that as input for the initial conditions for the actual problem. And various boundary conditions, like for walls, you give the boundary condition like no slip or slip, and like periodic was, and it is for inlet boundary condition like velocity inlet, mass flow rate, and constant pressure. And for outlet, there are various constant pressure, velocity convective, and pressure outlet, like different models are available. We have to select appropriate model for our requirement. And then mesh is one of the major role which plays, which will decide that accuracy of the results. And then the mesh should be well designed so that it resolve to important flow features which are dependent upon the flow condition parameters, like such as a grid refinement inside the wall body. There is a boundary layer method. There is a boundary layer is there. I wanted to study that particular boundary layer. So in that case, what I have to see is you have to use that proper meshing. You have to use a layer mesh. It is required, and number of layers, that is how many number of layers are required. So all these things you have to take in care. And when you go for the mesh, that together with the boundary conditions, we have to can export the mesh from the different commercial software like Gambit and all to our commercial CFD software for better meshing possibilities. And see that there are generally, in case of meshing, there are two, whether structure mesh like hexahedral or unstructured mesh like tetrahedral. So there are two different schemes are there, like finite difference schemes. Finite difference schemes it is structured mesh. And in case of finite volume and finite element, it is a structure unstructured. So based on application, you have to see. See, let us say for, as I said, that thin layer application is there. In boundary layer, we can use that structured mesh. We can use that. In case of a complex regions where it is a different, there is a complex shapes are there. Like these shapes can be used. It's not possible by using the structured mesh. Only that unstructured mesh like tetrahedral mesh, we have to use it. So while after completion of the mesh part, then we have to see that various numerical parameters that should be given to the input, like what is under relaxation factor and what is convergence limit, and what are different numerical schemes that is there, like forward scheme, backward scheme, that we can choose from the software. and then we have to monitor results, residuals. So we have to, why we need to monitor the residuals? We have to generally that change of risk between iterations. The iteration will be taking place. You have to iteration to iteration. What is the change? So that change we can see, you can observe that by using these residuals. And in case of steady flow, we have number of iterations matters a lot. In case of unsteady flow, number of time steps matters a lot. And then finally, you have to set up the appropriate numerical parameters. After that, we have to choose appropriate solvers. Then solve for various our output requirement like pressure Poisson's equations and get to the flow free quantities such as velocity, turbulence. All these. This is the output that we need to study our problems. Obtaining this after solving the problem, so we have to post processing the results. So see, if you want to calculate the derivative variables like vorticity and wall shear stress, and calculation of integral parameters like forces and moments, and for visualization, just I want to see what is the how the 2D contours, and just I want to see that what is the 3D contour for isosurface plots. The isosurface plots means it is like the water and air and water interface is nothing but isosurface plots. So and then I want to see what is the vector movements and what is the streamlines in the particular model, and this just animation of any fluid flow. So these are all required for our better understanding of the problem. And this is just a recap of CFD flow simulation. Just after selecting physical problem, then just you have to set the scale, and then the CAD model creation of the physical domain has to be done. Then after you have to generate the mesh in order to capture the proper important phenomena, and set the boundary conditions and initial conditions to represent actual physics, and then select this, and the selection of you have to select the solver and run the simulation. Finally, you have to go for cross processing. Now it is general. This is the equations that are the continuity and moment equations are solved for this solving the complex fluid flows. Generally, it is a what is the complexities that is involved in this equation is it is a second order Poisson difference equation, and it is also nonlinear equation. So and it is a coupled system of pressure and velocity. So these equations required to solve, and the present code that we in Civil PRS we are using Flow 3D software, which is based on finite volume method of VOF based free surface problems. So it is generally it is an integral form of governing equations, and we have divided the combination domain into control volumes. Each control volume we have converted the control integrals on each surface. After doing that, approximate derivative terms, and then you have to solve for into different equations. These algebra equations by using various numerical methods that will be solved. And this is the volume of fluid method. And what is the volume of fluid method? Generally, it is an interface capture method in an Eulerian framework. See, if you see that this is an water surface and this is an air. So this is the cell, different cells are there in that the region that it indicates alpha 0, alpha 1. Alpha 0 completely that is fluid 1, alpha 1 means that is fluid 2. So between these 0 and 1, this interface, this is called the air and water interface. These has to be captured for this multi-phase flow problems. So currently that present software, that Flow 3D software, we are using based on this method only. So now let us go for the actual problem that we have solved for in Civil PRS. We have conducted CFD studies for hydraulic Thomson model studies for Tarapur Atomic Power Project. This was an old work that was done by our office. So initially, while we are starting the using of CFD, we wanted to validate our models. So we have taken the old problems and then we started validating our model. Then later on, we implemented these validated codes for that upcoming projects as of now. See, this is the Tarapur Atomic Power Station. It is a different. There are 3 types of pump hoses are available. Like there is the condenser circulating water pump hose, with 4 working pumps and 1 standby pump with a capacity of 30 meter cube per hour, and another pump house of service water pump house with 4 working and 2 standby pumps with a capacity of 4050 meter cube per hour, and the third one auxiliary service water pump house with the 2 working and 2 standby pumps with a capacity of 2800 meter cube per hour. And see, this is the layout of the pump intake for Tarapur Atomic Power Station, and this is the main intake channel where the water enters into this pump house, and then this is the wave spreading beach where this is in this region the water will come under into triangle conditions where there is steady flow is required. So for that purpose this has been generated, and then after obtaining the triangle conditions, the water enters into this service water pump house, and then here later on the water again circulating condensed circulated water pump house, and these are the main pump house. Circulating condenser circulating water pump is the main pump house. This is that adjacent to this is the auxiliary pump house, and this is the service water pump house. So our objective is to see that what are the adverse conditions that is happening inside the pump intake. So whether is there any vortexes forming inside the pump intake, or is there any subsurface vortices or surface vortices? Is there any wall vortices? So is there any sphere taking place? All these conditions we have to verify by conducting the physical model studies as well as the CFD studies. So this problem has taken for our first study by using the Flow3D software, which is a Flow Science company product, is a US-based company, and it is a multi-physics CFD package. You see that this is the interface, how it looks like the software platform. These are for model creation, geometry domain creation. These are other things like meshing flow region favor. In meshing, here is like it is the favor technique will be using for this software. And then initial and boundary conditions are available here. You can give here, and then selection of models for different applications. And then pre-post and post-posting applications are available in this left panel. And this is the layout of the drawing of this Tarapur Atomic Power Plant. I'm just showing. See, this study was conducted by using by Tata Consulting Engineers for Nuclear Power Corporation. It is a 500 megawatt plant of each unit. Of total 2 number of units are there. Generally, how we have done is like flow problem. You have to finally first you have to create geometry as per the layout. You have created geometry, and then the mesh generation has been done. Nothing but it is like discussion of geometry into cubical cells. Here in this in Flow3D, the mesh the type of mesh is only cubical mesh, so that it is not having any tetrahedral hexahedral mesh. It's cubical mesh only. Then you have to use the initial boundary conditions like initial conditions. Here it is a static water level. That's the water, the blue color it is showing the water, static water level, and the pressure outlet, the mass flow rate outlet. And after giving the initial boundary conditions, then you have to solve using the solvers. And then if you see, you can see that the video. This is the streamlines are flowing inside the pump house. This is the triangle condition that is maintained over here, and then this is the 3 pump houses. This is a finalized version of the model. Then after obtaining this one, after conducting CFD analysis, we have to validate these numerical results with the physical model studies conducted as I said earlier. So you see that after carrying out the analysis, if you see that cold water circulation, condenser circulation water pump hose, so there is a mass circulation in the forebay is observed. This is the mass circulation, and see, if you see that here there is in near the suction pipe also there is vertices are observed over here. So the same thing, as I said, that the old work has been taken for this purpose as a reference. So it is also said that with the original design of TCE for circulation cold water pump, there are weak vertices formation in cold water circulating pump. This is the weak vertices. And a bulk mass circulation was observed in the forebay. This is the bulk mass circulation observed in the forebay, and weak spill formation after compartment. Here the weak spills. The weak spills are observed near the suction pipelines. So these are the streamlines from various locations of the pump bay. This is the see, these are free surface vertices observed over the top of the water level, and this is the fluctuating spill of the pump. Fluctuating spill observed near as well as the top of the surface as well as the bottom of the suction pipeline. It's like bell mouth shape is there. Under the bell mouth shape, that spill is observed over here. And if you see that this is the physical model that was results that was obtained from the previous work. See, if you see that, you can see that this is the numerical result. So we can clearly observe that see, there is near the suction pipeline, there is a free surface vertex is you can observe over here. The same also can be observed over in CFD studies also. Like in both sides of the suction pipeline, these vertices are happening, and if you see in this region also, away from the suction pipeline also, the same features is replicated over here. So this is about free surface vertices, and when you go for subsurface vertices, these subsurface vertices, it is not possible to observe by using the physical model studies. So to have insight features, insight studies in this kind of vertices, CFD only is the solution. You see that there is a subsurface vertex observed over near the bell mouth section, and this is another direction. See, you can see that, and this is a wall vertex. This is the wall, pump wall, and near there is a wall vertex is there, and this is the floor vertex, and near the bell mouth, inside the bell mouth itself, there is a vertex formation is there, and in combination of both wall and floor vertex. So when there is a vertices formation is there inside the pump hose, so then the pump performance will be reduced because of this air entrainment inside the water level, inside the section of the pump. So in order to reduce these things, we have to modify the pump bay such a way that there should not be, or you have to minimize those vertices in the pump bay, and as well as in total pump intake system. So to do that, initially, as I said that without modify, that original model show that there is a spill was taking place near the suction pipeline. So to arrest those spill, there is a spill arresting baffles was introduced here in this suction pipeline and behind the wall, and this will act as a support, structural support for the suction pipeline. It will give the double benefit. And here there are some slots in the bottom. Piers is there. In the piers, some slots was created to have a stabilizer flow to the suction pipeline, and the screens was introduced to have steady flow. And see, there is a strut beams. Strut beams also introduced to reduce the surface vertices. See, these are the, if you see the physical model, these are the strut beams that was introduced to have a steady flow into the suction, steady flow into the uh, steady flow of water near to suction pipeline. And we have observed that there is a vertex formation inside the bell mouth itself. So in order to reduce those vertices, we have to create an anti-vertex cones. Anti-vertex cones near the bottom of the bell mouth shapes. Bell mouth section is introduced. Like this cone shape, you can see that over here. The cone shapes are observed. So after, this is the model that was created. This is a modified layout, modified geometry of the pump house. And you see that how the cones, by introducing cones, the vertex, how it will be reduced. And see, there is the in middle pipeline, middle pump is having vertex cone is there, and other two pumps it is not there. See, if there is no vertex cone is there, anti vertex cone is not there, so it is rotating like anything. And here the vertex cone is introduced over here, so it is not having any spherical formation inside the suction pipeline. Anti-vertex cones helps in reducing the spherical flow inside the suction pipelines. And you can observe the velocity contours also near the pump bay. See, before modification, this is the velocity contours, that is a abnormal conditions are observed over here. And after modifying, you can see that there is a abnormal conditions are not observed. You can see that. There is a problem in playing the video. After this, before modification, it is like near the circulating cold water pump house, the sharp 90 degrees edge is there. Because of this, the mass circulation was huge over there. And after modifying this corner into curved shape, thus circulation has been reduced drastically. And that too, that width of this pump bay also has been increased by 1 meter. So that reduces the velocity, the whole total velocity inside this channel. See here, that is also in the report also it was mentioned that the bulk circulation in the forebay of the thin cold water sump was reduced. Due to above modification in the CCW sump, the water level fluctuation in the vicinity of the pump base were minimized. So it is also validated with the physical model that the circulation was reduced after changing the shape of the corner shape of this pump bay. This is the streamline flow of the pump bay. And then see how the spherical angle, vertex and spherical angle measurement, how we will do it. Generally, the spherical angle measurement will be carried by introducing an vertex meter inside the suction pipeline. Here, it follows based on this principle. Like it is all the region will be in all the zones inside this cross section will be moving in the same time. It is like steady flow, steady state. And when we calculate this same thing, spherical angle measurement using the CFD, it is not the same as compared to this physical measurement. So each section will be moving in each different velocities. So this is why when you go for spill angle measurement in CFD and physical model, there will be slight variation. We can observe it. That is the deviation what we have observed from our studies in only particularly for spill angle measurement. Yes. This is Tarapur Atomic Power Station. This is the after implementation, after conducting the studies in CWPRS. This is the Google Map view that is implemented. See the same. This is the A, that is the Nirmal Wave Settling Basin, and the B shows that auxiliary sump, and C shows that cold water pumpers. So here the same thing you can compare. This physical model at CWPRS, CFD model. This is the final implementation in the field. So this is how we validated the code using these physical models. Later on, we have started our models for studies in the civil affairs. And another study was there is coin column combined cycle power project for the same for this project also. Physical model studies was conducted. If you see that this is yes, and this is the intake channel, and this is where the suction pipelines are there for pumping purpose. And we can see that there is a circulation of water is observed on the top of the surface of the water, and the same thing you can see that in CFD also. And it is this study was for see, after modification, see that to avoid those mass circulations, there is a wall, additional wall has been constructed on the surface, and there is a inside this there is one groove has been created. So after doing this, you see that there is no circulation. You can see that there is circulation is over here also, and there is no circulation is taking place here, and similarly we can see here also. And later on we have conducted another study, the recent study for Matharan clad for L&T Kardon project. This is a circular intake. This is the without modification. There was huge vertices was observed over here. So in order to arrest those vertices, and we have initially one partition has been done. So still there was only small improvement was there, and there is a because of these three pump intakes are in parallel, so that circulation is passing on when there is circulation here, and there is here also like this. It is accumulating in one accumulating the circulations to between the three pump intakes. So to avoid these circulations, there is a two walls has been created here to separate these zones, and then this is and there is a to in order to break here these vertices also break that, there is small protrusion has been created. After doing that, we have got the like see and a spiral angle around 4 to 6 degrees, which is an acceptable level. Before, without modification, it was there around 10 to 12 degrees of spiral angle. You see that how the free surface vertex in a pump intake forms. We have conducted an experimental study in our laboratory to observe this how the free surface vertex is forming in the pump intake. And you see that there is ink has been injected into this section. See that this is the free surface vertices. From it is forming over here. From there, it is through this vertex the air enters into the suction pipeline and reduces the pump performance. So this is not acceptable in actual case. Think, is it boring? Hello, participant.
No, sir, continue.
I hope I'm not making you bore. Yeah. And there is another problem that we have taken up for CFD analysis of Kaplan turbine for Dudhganga hydroelectric power project. And it is there are 2 units and 12 megawatt capacity. And in that one of the unit, for the past 20 years, there are multiple events was there where the blade failures happened in this particular hydropower station. Then recently, last 2 years before, I think in the year 2017, we have visited this. We have taken up this work and visited the plant. And after observing, after dismantling the runner, and then while observing, we have seen that there is a blade, one blade which is in offset position compared to all other 5 blades. It's a 6-bladed uh, 6-bladed turbine. In this, there is some offset is there. Then we started finding root cause. What could be the cause of this misalignment? This is the drawing just for showing this. And see, there is a 2 dowel pins. This is the dowel pin. The other side also there is a dowel pin is there. In the particular blade, which is in there is misalignment is there, and it is not in actual position. So some offset position of dowel pin was observed. So for that we cannot change this one. What we have done is, in order to rectify this one, we have created, we have done study that actually what is the problem. This is a normal blade condition, and this is one blade tilted here. So CFD studies was conducted using Flow 3D software, and this is a domain of 3 blocks was created for different for runner, and then draft tube, and then shaft. 3 different sections were created. And see, for normal blade condition, this is the turbulence energy contours, and this is exit plane. Immediately this section was taken immediately after exit of the water from the turbine runner. In this plane, it is there are steady conditions are observed here. And when you see the for tilted blade conditions, it is not steady. It is some turbulence is happening here in this case. See, this is a normal blade position. The first top one is normal position. See, this shows that and symmetry to the development dissipation of turbulent energy symmetry to the axis of turbine rotation. See, this is the axis of turbine rotation. It is symmetry. This is along the plane perpendicular to the flow direction. And this for tilted blade condition, see, this is not steady. This is not symmetry. It is imbalance is there. Here some more here and here. These are red zones. These are not symmetry compared to normal blade situations. So you see that in the draft tube also, and this is the velocity magnitude contours. How the flow of water after exiting from the turbine, it is flowing through like this. In case of normal blade, you see that. In case normal blade, it is very steady flow is observed. In case of turbulence, in case of tilted blade, there is a disturbance of flow is there in the draft tube. And also in practically also we have observed that in the tail race channel also there is churning effect on the surface of the tail race water. And see, you see that the streamline flow also for normal blade there is streamlines are there is no recirculation zone observed, and there is less fluctuations also there. And when you see for tilted blade conditions, see there is a recirculation zone is predicted over here, and there is high fluctuations also observed in this. particular tilted blade position condition. So then we have suggested that then there is some modification we have done for tilted blade condition. To there is a shaft is there, shaft another additional flange was added into that, and then we have modified it. Now there is no issue. For the past 3 years they don't have any issue, and then running the plant without any problem. And the same thing, in order to try for using different CFD code, we have used an open source software, that is OpenFOAM also, to carry out this CFD studies for the turbine. Just this is for this is the CFD code. This is the 3D model, and this is the result. That is in this and the cavitation. In this, the cavitation was observed in this at the tip of the blade positions. So this is that this present study is going on, and we have done the vibration measurements also before implementing the corrective measures. You can see that this is the load and this is the velocity of in meters millimeters per second. At 7.5 load, there is a 4.7 millimeter per second is there. Generally, the acceptable value is 4.5 millimeter per second. To that permissible level. So it is if you see that in 11.2 megawatt, it is also is going above 4.5. In case of Troll also going 5 megawatt. So these are the conditions observed because of the tilted blade position. So that means what we have to say is, if there is any small change in alignment position of the blade also, it leads to breakage of the blades and complete damage to the system and loss of money as well as power. And generally, when we go for field studies for flow measurement, as Rahman sir in last session also he was saying that there is a constant in measurement of flow, that like 10D and 5D, maintaining 5D. So for that purpose, we have tried analysis by using valve or downstream section. See, this is the full open, how the velocity profile varying in the pipeline. This is for 75% of opening valve at 1D away from the valve position. How the velocity profiles are varying. At 5D, how the velocity is varying. So like this, we have conducted studies and then decide if there is constraint in the constraint for fixation of the flow meters to measure the flow rate in the pipelines. So by doing this, we can justify that if it is not 10D not available, so in 5D whether it can be, whether we can get the accurate results or not, also we can verify using these CFD codes. And apart from the works that was carried out using CFD in CWL PRS, based on my previous experience in NAOT also, in order to introduce that how OpenFOAM and Starch CSEM will be applicable for this type of industrial applications. See, there is a, I just wanted to introduce this, what is the LTTD process. In NAOT they have established LTTD plants. LTTD plants means low temperature thermal desalination plants. So where the salt water is converted into potable drinking water by the method of evaporating the surface seawater at low pressure and condensing the resultant fresh water with the cold water. The cold water that was taken deep sea from around 400 meters below. From there, the piping was laid. From there, the cold water has been taken out, and then the warm water that is here you can see that the warm water that is taken from the sun, from the surface of the sea. Using this, the water here, the vacuum is maintained by using a vacuum pump. Due to this vacuum, the water is evaporated, and then only the fresh water droplets has been moving towards the condenser. Here the water gets condensed, and then this fresh water has been taken out, and then like this is a evaporation can be done by two methods. One is either by boiling, and other one is by creating the vacuum conditions. Here boiling is not possible, so that's why we have used for creating the vacuum. In In remote conditions, like in islands, like Lakshadweep Island, this project was implemented in Lakshadweep Islands, and earlier there were 3 projects was implemented. Right now there is another going on now. So for this, there was a problem for our TDS levels maintained in the freshwater. So the major role that plays to maintain the TDS in the water level is demister pads in the flash chamber. So this is the spout pipe where the water is impinging into the chamber and the vacuum chamber. This is the demister pad which filters the salt particles from the fresh water, and then this goes to the condenser where it condenses for and then supplied to for drinking water. So due to this, the water, due to the inertia, how the water particle will be separated from the vapor here is due to the inertia of the liquid droplet. Liquid droplet is having some inertia. So whenever there is, it releases from the water vapor and settles on demister pads. If the inertia, the gravitational force is more than compared to the drag force, then these water particles will get settled on these demister pads. And see, this is the flash chamber, and this is the vapor generation rate of 1.38 kg per second. And generally the entrainment vapor velocity is 15.7 meter per second. This is the designed vapor velocity, and for an entrainment factor of 0.07 meter per second, the flashing area is minimum flashing area that is required for evaporation purpose is 4.42 meter square, and for total area, out of total area 5.52 meters square. The total diameter of the flash chamber is 2.8 meters. And this sectional view, and then this is the entrainment factor flashing area. This is the vapor velocity, and this is flashing area, and this is the entrainment rate. So this is the optimum vapor velocity that is obtained from this graph. That is, you can see that here the intersection point of these two graphs is around 15.7 meter per second. So what is the methodology that used to carry out this TDS problem? See, evaporation model was carried out by using first the water flow was simulated using the open foam code, and from there the water plane area has been calculated and then compared with the experiments. And then by using this water plane area, water vapor flow, here water flow and then water vapor flow has been simulated in CFD open foam. After updating this water velocity, because the particle flow we have tried in both different ways, but it was not succeeded in using open foam as well as in open foam and fluent, and for that particular this thing for the particle flows, CFD star system software was used, and then measure TDS and then compare with the experiments, and then again modify the design as per the experiment and then implemented in the fleet. I think this is how the open foam, the overview of the open foam, and it is basically it is a C++ library where there is a C++ basic coding is available, and we can change according to as per reference. We can write our own code for our application. And this is basically there are two main entities are there, that is solvers and utilities. And solvers like can solve with CFD and stress analysis and other things. And in utilities like meshing, case setup, and other solution monitoring, data export, all these things are available in utilities library. And generally in this case, like when you say that in case of commercial software, we call it the modules and all. Here it is only like utilities. In open foam, there are mainly for meshing purpose only mainly two things are there. One is block mesh and other one is snappy hex mesh. Block mesh is for the simple objects. You can go for block mesh. It creates only parametric meshes with grading and curved edges. And for snappy hex, it is complex shape like this. If you want to capture the interior, small snap extension is required to use. And if you want to create any layers, you have to observe the layers on the bottom of on sides of the walls. Then you have to give the, by using 2 layers option, you have to give the number of layers, and then this particular the solver that is used is piece of foam solver. And generally, if you see that what are the inputs that are required to give for this block mesh, and then this you have to give this convert to meters. In any dimension you are importing, any dimensions you are giving inside, only you have to give some scale factor to convert into meters. That means the input should always be in terms of meters only in case of open form. And what is vertices? List of vertex coordinates. We have to define the geometry. Not in case of like it is not possible to directly model inside the open form. We have to generate in I have to generate the model in some different modeling software, and then we have to import into STL files, and where it is saved in the forms of vertices, edges, and blocks. And we have patches that inlet and outlet boundary conditions and wall boundary conditions. We have to input in the form of the patches. And see, water flow. Water flow was simulated using a solver called Interfoam of multi-phase solver in the open form. And the meshing was generated. And see, this is the water flow. After obtaining the water flow, this is the area, this is the out pipeline where the water is coming out and then evaporating. So during this phase, this is the area that is water is flowing in this region and then going down. And this area nothing but 220 mm, and this diameter of around 100 mm diameter pipeline is there. So this area is the water plane area. The average velocity is measured out of outlet pipe is here. You can see that 0.95 meter per second is the velocity observed at the outlet pipeline. So for simulating the water vapor study, for simulation of water vapor, this area is to be considered. This is the experimental setup that was used. Like this is the flash chamber, this is the condenser, nothing but heat exchanger, and this is the warm water. This is the warm water. That means surface seawater is inlet, is input to this flash chamber where the evaporation takes place, and then the fresh water, the form of water vapor, is entered into this heat exchanger where it gets condensed, and then it is supplied for a drinking water. For this heat exchanger, this is the cold water inlet. The inlet of cold water has been taken from the deep sea around 400 meter depth inside the ocean. From there, that is water has been taken and then it is used. That means it is completely very less power that is used from the external source. Warm water also as per the sea surface, and cold water from the bottom of the sea. Only for the running of the pumps, and then the vacuum pump is required the power. See, this is how the water vapor flow simulations were conducted, and then that is this is using the PCF foam solver of multi-phase open foam. After obtaining water plane area from the water flow, this input is given to this water vapor. You can see that there is a formation of vertices in flashing area. This is a flashing area. There are vertices are observed in this flashing area. So this causes some occupying of some area for flashing. So that's mainly the flashing. That means that evaporation takes place depends on the flashing area. If the flashing area reduces, so that means obviously that that evaporation capacity also will come down. You can see that this is the various different sections of flash chamber from the top to bottom at 1 meter, 1.5 meter, 2 meter, and 2.5 meter sections. The water vapor flow is observed here. And water vapor distribution velocity. This is immediately after spout pipes around 1.1 meter above the spout pipe. What is the velocity? It is observed that 3 meter per second velocity observed. Immediately after, see that For different velocity conditions, the distribution of water vapor has been observed over here. You see that at 0.1 meter condition, there is it is improper distribution of water vapor is there. If you see that at 1.1 meter above the pipe, for pipe, the water vapor distribution is for different velocities up to 10 meter per second is normal. And when you see that at 15 meter per second velocity, it is still there is some this area is near to the demister pads, so there is some it is not distributed properly, the water vapor. So that means there is more water vapor, water particles. There is chance of more carrying of water particles along with the water vapor. So we have to now for carrying out the for analysis with using water particles. So as I said that initially we have tried with different meshes and with snappy hex mesh and fluid mesh. And both are it is very difficult, and then that if we are not able to get the conversion. Then we have tried. We have seen that what is the reason for this one. After seeing this, generally for particle flow, it is only for structure mesh. Structure mesh only it can handle. If it is unstructured mesh is there, the particle flow is it is very difficult to solve the problem. So then we thought that we have another community software was there, that's StarCCM, which is having the structure mesh, and then by using this software, we were able to succeed in doing this particle flow analysis. Inlet. What is the inlet to the demister pad is? It is Dixie pages, water vapor and droplets combinedly. And in demister, what will happen? The removal of some of the droplets has been removed. Droplets. In demister pad, some droplets has been removed, and some droplets will carry along with the water vapor. That is nothing but we call it TDS. Out of TDS total dissolved salts in the fresh water. Outlet, it is again water vapor plus remain background physics for this particle flow calculation processing plus. You see that the mass flow rate over here. That is the mass flow rate versus TDS graph. Mass flow rate around 0.2. If we, mass flow rate is increasing inside the flash chamber, the TDS will increasing. And the allowable TDS for this drinking water purpose is maximum of 500 ppm only allowable. And if you see the point for that means that mass flow rate should be below 0.01 kg per second. So generally the TDS cannot be directly measured in numerical model. So what we can do is TDS, that is a good correlation with mass flow rate. So that the same thing was used for this comparison purpose. So after doing the analysis, before modification means this is the partition plate between that vapor duct, and this is the flashing area, this is the demister pads. And if you see that before modification means that TDS, CFD has given 654 and experiment is given 600 ppm. And after modification, that means the plate, this the area that above the demister pads, the slightly the height has been raised, and then there is some protrusion was given over this location. So after modifying this plate, you see that the TDS, the CFD code gives the TDS around 750 ppm, and experiments also is 50 ppm. And this is the experimental studies. This is before modification. You see that, and this is the entrainment factor, and this is the TDS. Up to 600 ppm was observed in before modification. After modification, if you see that it is less than well below 50 ppm was observed. So that way that modification helped us to reduce the TDS with the help of CFD and as well as and validated with the experimental results also. I think. And it is concluded that based on general design data available for pump-sum design, CFD model structures can be used as a tool for constructing preliminary designs of pump-sum for particular flow field conditions. And this reduces the time involved, as I said earlier, in physical model study. And also it involves and also reduces the cost of the study also. In addition to physical model studies, CFD simulations can be performed just to facilitate, construct, and optimize an effective pumping station. So we can optimize by using the CFD as well as with complementary to the physical model studies. And currently the main application what we are as an in civil case what we're doing is the engineering method to provide data that is complementary to the theoretical and experimental data. So, and CFD can also be used for very pure scientific studies like into fundamentals of turbulence, as the today most of the studies are going on now, and there is more common in like these things are common in institutional government research laboratories. So, if you want some specific studies required for, then codes also you can develop the codes for specifically for our requirement. And any queries? Any
Participants, please type your questions in the chat box if you have any queries. Sir, we have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The first question is from Abubakar Kadangal. What are the diameter of the suction lines?
Yes, yeah.
Pump intake.
Just a second. Just a second. Pumping station of which one? Is it Tarapur or
Tarapur.
Tarapur station? Yeah, actually it is 0.5 meter, and it is a scale model where we have used for around 120 mm diameter pipeline.
The next question is, what is the scaling ratio for the model?
Generally, this particular model we have for CFD have used it for 1:40. It depends on there is a Freudian values, the Freudian conditions. So based on that, we decide what is the scaling factor that is
For this
used.
particular study?
Yeah, it is for 40. 1:40 was used. Yeah.
40.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, it's going on 1:2. Yeah, one second.
From another question from Dr. Anand Solanki.
Yeah.
What are the boundary conditions used for this simulation?
This one, that inlet boundary condition is that static water level, because the water level is initial condition for this one. Water level of pressure, water head, that is head, we have to give the boundary condition of inlet. Outlet is mass flow rate. There is suction pipeline is there. Suction pipeline, you have to give the mass flow rate.
So which turbulence model is used for modeling the turbulence in
Yeah, Rance model is easier.
which one is?
Sorry?
Rance.
Yeah.
So is there any questions? Okay. What software you use for the simulations? One question from Ganesh Kumar.
Yeah, Flow3D, yes.
Flow3D.
Yeah. Flow3D is a flow science company, which was a US-based company. Mainly the Flow3D is for open flows, like the pump intakes and then open channels and dams and spillways. For all these studies, Flow3D is the more preferable.
And another question is, what is the velocity of vapor?
Yeah, around 15.7 meter per second. 15.7 meter per second.
Correct.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yeah, there is some. My
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jyoti Prakash.
yeah.
You
Thank
are
you, sir.
also very good in time management as Mr. PM Abdul Rahman.
Yeah.
Completed in correct time. Okay. And your initial
Thank you,
video
sir. Thank you.
about CWPRS, we were able to know what is CWPRS, the capabilities and activities taking place in CWPRS. So it was very informative for us.
Okay.
You started with a brief basis of or review of the basis of CFD. Then you simulation results and how the various processes in CFD you used.
Yes, sir.
The illustrating a pumping deck of Tarapur you have explained and you have presented the results. So it was very interesting and nice to